Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga show, Fantasy Football Winter Draft Edition. We are back after international hiatus once more after a very, exciting international break of sorts. I'll not come to you too much on that, Rune, just yet whilst you recover after the Scottish onslaught that you guys felt sadly the other night. But good to have you back at least. How are you this evening, Rune?
Yeah, what game? I can't remember anything. I've moved on already. So we have the Bundesliga back and time to shift focus to that. So perfect timing. Still quite haven't forgiven Rasmus Christensen from Frankfurt for the red card he got in that game. But who knows? Maybe he'll make my team after all. We'll see later.
Absolutely, yeah, very much so. We have a fresh draft for you tonight. So very much looking forward to getting stuck into that. We apologise for some tech mix-ups or wrong links, etc. We try to update you all with the new link on socials just this very second. StreamYard is doing this delightful thing that has given us some kind of fresh updates, but it's also kind of half confused us. But we're live, we're kicking, it's all good. So sit back and enjoy along with us. Get yourselves ready for a big show. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the show, as well as making sure you follow the brilliant Bulinews as well for all fantasy content and the like moving forward. We're going to go straight into it. Make sure you get your questions ready from every position formation. We've had the odd question as well on formations, which we'll touch upon, especially for you guys. But as per tradition in a draft show, we'll go through each position and go through Rune's picks. So this time around, as per, we'll start off with the goalkeepers. Rune, over to you for some fresh choices as well on our screens.
Yeah, I have opted to switch from Ramage to Backhouse this time. Backhouse just a few million cheaper than Ramage, and he's actually also been performing just as well or even better, I think, recently in the period leading up to the international break. So at the moment, I think Backhouse is the best value pick in goal. Unlike the other goalkeepers in his price bracket, I think he's likely to make a decent number of saves every game. So quite solid choice for the price, I think. And then I've gone with Daniel Peretz as my second choice, just because I trust Backhouse enough just to have him as my starting goalkeeper. I know Peretz won't start, but I'd rather save that extra money for great outfield players. Oh, I can't hear you, Rory.
Clearly out of practice, muting myself and forgetting. It's obviously been a good couple of weeks and to feel completely rusty. Makes absolute sense. So obviously, if you've got any questions about goalkeepers, drop them in the live comments or the comment section if you're not watching live. One in here question, so we'll pick this one up. From Corey. So any word on Neuer? He was obviously I picked this up through Bulinews for you guys about some doubts over Neuer's involvement at the weekend. He was didn't train, was it today? So Rune, any more news on Neuer and his likelihood for playing at the weekend?
I don't think he's trained at all since returning from international duty. He's been out with a stomach bug. So we'll see tomorrow. If he's in training tomorrow, then he'll most likely start. And if not, then Jonas Urbik will probably be in goal. But either way, the Bayern keepers are not that interesting fantasy-wise, I think. Not very likely to get that many points from saves. Urbik, I think, is quite cheap, so that speaks for him. Maybe going with him as a second goalkeeper if he starts. But still expect someone like Backhouse to outscore him.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. So moving on speedily, as goalkeepers are always the easiest part of the show to get through, we'll move on to our defenders. So yeah, back over to you, Rune, for some defender picks.
Yeah, starting off with Kevin Dix from Gladbach, who I've already mentioned a few times on the show, and he was finally given the chance to take a penalty against Köln before the international break. And finally Gladbach scored a penalty too, so about time he got the chance. Probably take the next one too after scoring that one. And generally, Gladbach have looked a lot better, I think, in recent weeks and the weeks before the international break. They're coming off 3 wins, and now they're playing Heidenheim, who are struggling a lot. So I think he's a great option for the price if you need a budget pick. Then I've gone with Miro Muheim from HSV. His returns were great heading into the international break. He's averaged 274 points per game over his last 4 matches. So that's really, really good. And I'm expecting another solid return from him against Augsburg. Could be a tight game, but Augsburg have generally allowed a lot defensively. So Muheim should be able to swing in some crosses and get some points from that side of his game. And then I've gone with Danilo Doki, who of course scored a brace against Bayern just before the international break. Not expecting him to do that every week, but nevertheless, if you look at his numbers, even the games before that, for the last 4 games, I think he's been getting extremely good numbers and returns. And it was his 2nd brace of the season already as a center back. So clearly he is a threat and capable of scoring goals occasionally. And in addition to that, Union have a great schedule against St. Pauli and Heidenheim and Wolfsburg in the next 3 matches. So seems like a good time to pick him up. And then I've gone with Rasmus Christensen, who, as I mentioned earlier, was sent off for Denmark the other night. Tough evening for us and for him as well. But nevertheless, his numbers are really good. He's a very energetic player, capable of getting points in multiple ways, winning duels, running up and down the pitch, contributing offensively as well. Capable of scoring a goal here and there too. So just very involved, and that's something we like fantasy-wise when a player is that involved. It's probably between him and Brown. They cost just about the same, and I think usually Brown would have the edge fantasy-wise for being probably a bit better dribbler and maybe being a bit more attacking in his playing style. But if Frankfurt are playing forward the back, I think Christensen is just as good, if not better, because you're rewarded for winning duels in this game, and he does that a lot as well, in addition to being active going forward as well. And then for now, I've gone with Alex Grimaldo because, we don't know if he'll be fit or not. What's been reported is that he picked up a muscle problem with the Spanish national team during the international break, and I think he's gone through some examinations today at Leverkusen, and I think the press conference with Ullmann is tomorrow at 11 my time, German time. So hopefully he will say something useful, because we need to know if he's playing or not, of course. If he is playing, if he's past fit, then he has to be there. But if not, then you have to think about getting someone else, and maybe you can get in a cheaper defender and spend that extra money somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And well timed with the question in there from FPL Swans about the reoccurring issues that Grimaldo has been suffering. So hopefully that helps there. Whilst we're kind of talking about defenders and therefore picking up a question, we'll come on to Corey's point and then we'll move on, which was obviously if no Grimaldo, then who in terms of recommendations? Rune, obviously you've already said about potentially just ditching the idea of getting another premium defender and spending that money elsewhere. If if you were forced to get another, say, premium defender pick, who are we looking at? There's a recommendation here for Schlotterbeck. Thoughts on him and any others that look interesting?
Yeah, he's a great option. He would be a good alternative. Also very involved, capable of getting points in multiple ways, winning duels, and very involved in their passing play as well, Dortmund's passing play. So definitely a good option. David Raum, maybe from Leipzig as well. Yep. Playing Werder at home, I think that's a quite good home fixture for Leipzig. I really trust them to win that one because Werder, they've performed quite well results-wise at least, but if you look at the actual performances, it's not been like super impressive. Things have gone their way a few times as well recently, I think. So, and on the contrary, at the same time, I think Leipzig have played some great football, and Raum is always capable of chipping in with assists and goals from free kicks, for example. The only downside, I think, is that he's pretty reliant on those goal contributions. He's not, from my experience, at least this season, I've had him earlier, and I was actually a bit disappointed, especially in the games where he didn't score a goal or didn't produce an assist, because seems like he relies a bit more on that than a player like Schlotterbeck, for example, who automatically gets a lot of points from passes made and won duels as well.
Absolutely. Because of the fixture match up, do we rule out getting premium VFB number in there, such as Maxi Mittelstadt?
I mean, yeah, he's an okay option too. Also because I think he has HSV next week, if I remember correctly, after this one. So you could keep him for that. But I think he's just really, really expensive. So probably rather get someone like Schlotterbeck, who I trust at least as much, and then have some extra money to spend on someone else, maybe getting a second goalkeeper, for example. That would be a way of spending that extra money.
Certainly. And Stuttgart then back it up with a game against HSV, but then buying after that. So if we're looking longer term, that looks like a tricky pick for VFB numbers right now. Some good questions and comments in there. Thank you, everyone. We will now move on to our midfielder picks. So they're on screen for you right now. And Rune, please indeed run us through it all.
Yeah, midfield was a bit tricky, but here goes. I went with Alex Garcia instead of Massa from Leverkusen. Massa is a lot cheaper, but Garcia is probably a bit more nailed on. Despite the fact that Massa has been really impressive lately, Garcia is probably the most important central midfielder at the moment, at least. He's taking a lot of responsibility, sort of filling the void that Xhaka left, making a lot of passes and trying to play a similar role in a way. If you look at his numbers, he's been really good, with the Bayern game being the exception. I think he's gotten 2 300 point hauls in his last 3 games. So that's really, really good. And now they're playing Wolfsburg, so a game that Leverkusen should win at the moment, even if we may see a bit of an effect of Wolfsburg sagging their coach. Maybe that will give them some extra energy. Maybe that will unleash something. But nevertheless, Leverkusen have to be favorites to win that one. So I think having a Leverkusen midfielder makes a lot of sense. And if not Garcia, then I think Massa is a really good option for the price, because his price is still so low. Then I've gone with Christoph Baumgartner, who I think he's one of the biggest goal threats in midfield at the moment. He's already scored 5 in the league this season, and he's playing Werder at home. And as I said earlier, that's the game I personally expect Leipzig to dominate and win. And he could easily get on the score sheet again there. That wouldn't surprise me. And then I've gone with Amiri, who is, just being Amiri, a big fantasy favorite of mine. Usually very involved. He's been past fit for Mainz quite important game against Hoffenheim. He was forced to withdraw from the German national team because of an injury, but he's fit again now, and they really need the points. And Amiri could prove to be the key. Always very involved on all set pieces for them, including penalties. Should be another good week for him, I think. Ritsu Doan, I think he's a bit expensive for what he's delivered in recent weeks, actually, but still remains the second highest scoring player in terms of average points per game. Has some really appealing fixtures coming up. So still an excellent option, I think, for the next couple of games at least. And Michael Olise, pretty self-explanatory. Just need to have him, I think. The fact that he's a midfielder in the game and not a striker just makes him so powerful, and the obvious star choice in midfield almost every week.
Absolutely. Yeah, a very strong 5-man midfield, that looks like to me. So just picking up on the question in here from Corey, if you had to choose one, Garcia, Baumgartner or Amiri, who would it be? Obviously we know that you've got very much a soft spot for Amiri, but who has the potential to haul the most points in match week 11?
Probably Baumgartner. If we look at ceiling, I think he has the highest one because he's probably more likely to score a brace, for example, because of his role and goal involvement. But probably he maybe has the lowest floor as well. So depends on. I think Amiri and Garcia are solid choices just because they're making a lot of passes, always really involved. But that's a tough one, actually. I think Amiri is just always so involved for Mainz. He's by far the most important player, the talisman in midfield, and he gets the ball so much. So probably pick him over Garcia, also because Leverkusen have the Champions League coming up. I know Mainz have the Europa League as well, the Conference League, but they need to prioritize the Bundesliga now, and this game is so important for them. And they really need Amiri at his best. Also, they're playing on Friday and they're playing Thursday next week, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. And I trust Baumgartner a bit more ceiling-wise. I think he's the most likely goal scorer of the three, and I really like the matchup at home against Werder. Leipzig should score at least a few goals there for me, and I think he's very likely to be involved. So probably Baumgartner and Amiri, but all three are really good choices this week.
They are indeed. Thank you for the very teasing question there. I know there was something asked on Blue Sky from FPL Swans about formations. So we'll come around to that after we've done the striker pick, so that we can kind of haul everything together. Striker picks now on screen for you all to see. So Rune, again, talk us through those three top strikers.
A really good front line there, I think. And part of it is the reason why we can make this great front line is the Schick is still fairly cheap because he was out injured for a while, so it doesn't cost a lot. 10 million is that's a great price for a striker like Patrick Schick with the role he plays for Leverkusen on penalties too. As we saw against Heidenheim, just needed one half to really make an impact and create a great return. I think at 10 million, and he's playing Wolfsburg, who are struggling a lot. Leverkusen scored 6 goals in their last game before the international break. Just a good combination of an informed Leverkusen team playing an out-of-form team, I think. And then Romelu from Leipzig is my second pick up front. He's just been really solid, I think. Also just really consistent. Sometimes with strikers, they can be quite reliant on goals as well. But I think even when he doesn't score, like the game just before the international break, the 3-1 defeat against Hoffenheim, he actually got a solid return from being involved. Also, he was quite unlucky, maybe not to get on the score sheet. He did score a goal that was ruled out for offside, for example. So he got fairly close as well. And then again, I think Leipzig have one of the best matchup this week at home against Werder. He's the fourth highest scoring striker in the game if you look at average points. So he's only behind Can Sun, who's injured, and Luis Diaz and Harry Kane. So only behind some of the probably the two most premium options up front, maybe alongside Girassi. That says a lot about how influential he's been and how good a fantasy option he's been so far this season. And then finally, Harry Kane. Not much to say. Just needs to be in your team. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Again, very strong looking front three there. Just want to pick up some points coming in now, which is great. One from FPL Swans. Thoughts on adding Diaz for a triple buy-in attack? Very very tempting thing to do this weekend, Rune.
Yeah, definitely. Then I'd probably take out Schick if I were to do that. Maybe if Grimaldo is ruled out, that's something you would consider doing because you could get a fairly cheap defender in, and but you need a lot of funds to find a spot for Diaz, but definitely a deadly duo up front if you can find the room for him.
Absolutely. A very good point here from Mac Bena or Mac Benner 5583. Tabakovic, also a really good cheap option. Absolutely excellent point. A player who's been really on the rise form wise, obviously up until this international break, has benefited and led this mini resurgence of Gladbach, helped by some other key players, I think, players such as Frank Honorat, and there's a nice piece done on the Gladbach resurgence on Bulinews. Rune, I think Oltan did that one, which is some really interesting points about about how the Foals have picked up some very needed wins and points. But Rune, just on Tabakovic particularly, very good point being made here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably if I couldn't include a fourth striker, that would probably be him. And I also mentioned him in my weekly article on Bulinews as a great budget pick. This week at least, he's an excellent option. Maybe next week, I think they're playing Leipzig at home next week. So that's a bit more difficult, but at least as a 1 week punt, he's a great option. I also think he scored in both of Bosnia-Herzegovina's international games, actually, during the international break. So really informed player coming up against an opponent who concedes a lot of goals. So that's a quite good combination.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great points there on strikers. Just takes us to the end of the show, unless we get some more questions in, which will definitely take live. And we'll have a bit of a focus on formations, which was a question asked by FPL Swans, but I think it's a good thing to pick up, just obviously for the start of this next run of games until the winter break. What's the best way of kind of trying to utilize obviously the point scoring system and for players to get the most out of their squads right now, Rune? Obviously, we know a lot of the popular formations. I think in recent weeks there's been that discussion point of depending on the fixtures that are lining up, whether we go with 3 strikers or 2. Obviously, that kind of 2-man striker lineup was really interesting when Kofane was in the team. And he had that really cheap striker option that, was kind of guaranteed to start. But what are your current thoughts on how you're lining up, on how other people should maybe line up to really push themselves up the fantasy tables?
I really like 4-4-2 in general, especially at this stage, because I feel I have a lot of funds to spend. So it's quite easy to build a strong squad where you actually trust the whole squad, all the players, to come in and make a difference. And that way you're sure that you have a player that can come in from the bench in every line. I think that's an advantage. Some weeks I've been a bit disappointed with my midfielders, but then again, looking at my 5 midfielders this week, for example, would be quite difficult to just pick 3 of them and leave 2 on the bench. Don't think that would make much sense. Then you could go with 3-4-3. Could be an option, especially if we're talking about a week where you really trust your strikers to get goals. So 3-4-3 will probably be an option some weeks. Generally, though, I really like the 4-4-2 just because of the flexibility it offers at this stage, where you can build such a good squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good points there, Rune. So yeah, obviously each to their own from a formation point of view. I definitely agree with you in terms of being disappointed sometimes in the returns of midfielders. When I've gone with the 5-man midfield, it has often been slightly underwhelming. I think interesting point at the moment is some of those kind of budget picks and maybe ones that we don't need right now. Obviously, Köln have had a bit of a dip in form. Kaminsky, Elmala, players like that who are featuring quite regularly in teams. Maybe not now, for this week or for the next week or so. We will see indeed. Corey just saying, Amiri stolen your heart over Grifo, Rune.
Grifo still has my heart too, but unfortunately he's not starting every week. He's not quite the player he used to be. And I think we can all see that he's still a great player though, but not at his peak anymore. Whereas I think Amiri is maybe playing the best football of his career at Mainz at the moment and really thriving there. So I still love Grifo though. Great fantasy legend.
He is a fantasy legend for sure. And there are many that have stolen your heart over the time that we've been doing the show. I know still we used to love Sturger, didn't we, as well? But he's
Patrick Wimmer as well, and
Wimmer's a favourite of yours, for sure.
Kevin Dix maybe now as well. I feel like I keep mentioning him, and then finally he delivered last time, and I was like, okay, at last, now we can see what he's capable of. But it took a while for him to deliver.
Well, it's taken many of the Gladbach players quite a while to deliver anything this season, hasn't it? Lovely stuff. We shall bring it to a close this evening. Our first fantasy show of this block of games, our big fantasy draft for the winter months ahead. So just before we close up, make sure to like this video. That'd be fantastic. If you're not watching us live, again, please do leave a comment. We'll absolutely love feedback and questions, and we'll pick them up before the Friday night game and the deadline. Sub to the channel, tell your friends, tell your family, get everyone watching our content if you possibly can do. Make sure you're following us on socials. We're on X, Insta, Threads and Blue Sky, as are Bulinews and Rune, so for all those excellent tips and articles that are coming out regularly. Thanks all for watching. We'll be back in about half an hour, myself and Cam, for predictions for match week 11. So look forward to getting into that. A real feast of Bundesliga show content for you guys. Double header tonight. So we'll see you in half an hour. Thanks, Rune. Thanks all. See you in the next one. Bye bye.